I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with illImperial.
What's up?
Hey, y'all.
So illImperial, I really want to get into this dynamic duo here that actually turned into a trifecta. You recently added a drummer to your set, right?
Yeah. Well, for those of you guys don't know, Brian and I actually started this band a long time ago. This is the only band we've ever been in. 12 years ago, maybe 13 years ago, back straight out of high school. And we've been a duo that whole time. And, we had a certain type of sound. And then we met Joe, who's now currently our drummer, and he was obsessed with one of our songs called Zombie Tundra. And he even, as a fan, wrote a drum part to it. And I think he just kept knocking on that door, and finally we realized, you know what, let's try it. Let's give this guy a chance. And honestly, we can never go back. The drums changed that whole band, I'd say. Just the sounds and the energy. Live, it's amazing. Just having that live.
Well, and I know you guys really pride yourself on being as good live as you are recorded.
Absolutely.
And before we kind of get into the thematics of your show, because they're awesome. If you guys have not seen them live, you really, really need to. You will not regret it. It's like a whole stage performance, like
we really
play in of itself.
Yeah.
But I really want to talk about your sound. So you guys have a really unique sound, which had been previously categorized as alternative hip hop, but now with the drummer. What do you guys kind of sum up your sound for someone who hasn't heard of you guys before?
Well, I would say we're kind of like a hip-hop vibe with kind of a punk attitude. We got that kind of...
Yeah.
Our drummer, like you said, used to be in metal bands, so we got kind of that heavier energy, a little bit of double bass added, It really kind of gets us going a little bit more, too. So it's something different than you've ever heard before. It's not quite hip hop. It's not like that metal rap you heard back in the 90s.
Yeah, not Limp Bizkit.
It's really kind of unique.
It's
it's something different. It's something different. And each track almost you get something different. Sometimes it's a little bit more mellow. Sometimes we turn it up to level 11.
Yeah, and I think that's why I really like having the drummer is that it allows us that flexibility of being able to incorporate more genres into our sound, because we've always been focusing on the fact that there's no definition for what we are. We're just gonna make music that comes out, and if it's, for example, sounds more like punk, great. If it sounds more like R&B, great. We don't shy away from genres. In fact, we boldly try to go and explore them, because ultimately
our music is fluid.
Yeah, it's fluid. It's fluid.
So what would you say is a good song? And I obviously know that all of your songs have different elements to them, but what would you say is one that really kind of encompasses your sound for those beginners who are just now tuning into illImperial?
Okay, I'd say actually that's a very good question, and the song is Blood Moon. It's actually a song that we're going to be shooting a music video for a little later. We can talk about that.
Oh yeah,
I'm really excited.
First on Fame by the Flame.
Exactly. So that's you guys heard it here first. Blood Moon, because I think the notion of the song kind of defines the band. And for those of you guys that haven't heard it, basically it goes something like, tonight I think I got this feeling like it's inspiring to make a change in your life that you've resisted for so long, but you know it was right. And that's kind of, I feel like, why a lot of reason why we make music is to inspire people to take advantage of life, or to have that good time and to enjoy the fruits of being alive. I think that's
true that some of our music and our songs really start from a feeling, just one singular feeling even.
Exactly.
And it expands into a whole song from
That's how we know the song is gonna make it, is when we both are on the same, like, you feel this? Yeah, I feel this too. Okay, let's explore it. That's why I'm saying, like, the genres don't matter.
We don't always both feel it.
Yeah, we don't, and that's the song that doesn't make it very easy,
So, I mean, I think it's cool you guys have been together for so long, and you guys have definitely gone through your ups and downs as bandmates, and I'm always curious, how, being in a band, you do have all these creative differences, and you guys come together based on these feelings. Yeah. How have you guys kept together so long? 10 years is a really long time to be consistently putting out good music.
Thank you.
How long, how long have you guys, or not how long, how have you been able to kind of stick it out and stay together through just, life's ups and downs?
Well, if I may, at least on my end, it's been respect. Like, I respect him as an artist first and foremost. And he always surprises me. Like, I am his fan. Like, I am a fan of the music that he makes, and I feel like we have that mutuality. So we just love seeing what the other one is gonna do. When I bring a song to him, it's like, this is the feeling. I'm like, what's it gonna write? You know, like I'm excited. I'm
Yeah.
excited for it. I think that kind of respect in each other's work and knowing that you're not carrying the band or someone's not pulling their weight. It's just being completely just in awe of art that is music in general, and participating in it and still having a good time. I think as long as him and I can sit down and just write music together and we have fun, we'll be in a band together.
Shoot, right back at you. Right back at you. He doesn't cease to surprise me. Like, we're working on 3 tracks right now. I think
Hot
we got
tracks.
2 of them are pretty much done, ready to go.
Yeah.
The third one, I'm waiting to show him. Maybe I'll show him later tonight. I'm pretty happy with it so far. Maybe a little bit more to go. But yeah, it's just he'll give me some. Usually it starts with him. Give me some, hey man, I was feeling this beat earlier tonight, and I started writing this, and I had these feelings in my head, and these emotions, and here's what I got. And he'll give me something, and I'm like, okay, I can roll with that. 45 minutes later, he could leave the room, whatever. I'm going to give it to him and go, what do you think about this? And then we come and we get together, and bam, all of a sudden we got a song 3
What
days
is your
later.
creative process then? Is it really just kind of bouncing off ideas from one another, or is it really like
Little
this
bit.
kind of behind the scenes, super organized?
Now,
It's not
super
organized. It's not
organized.
organized. Definitely
I wouldn't
not
say
organized.
disorganized, but I would not say super organized
Yeah.
either. It is definitely somewhere in between. It's a Malcolm in the Middle situation.
Yeah. I think it's just as long as we're both inspired by a beat or a track or an idea, then it doesn't matter where we are or how we get together. The point is that we are in the space of creating music.
There are beats and tracks he's shown me before that I was kind of like, yeah, I'm kind of feeling that, and then nothing ever really came with it from it.
Yeah.
So I really want to talk about, we have right here, Nevermind Rebels,
Yes.
Absolute Kings, and then obviously missing, though, your third, which is Chaos Gesture.
Yes.
So do you want to kind of tell everybody about the characters and kind of the roles that each one plays in terms of the background, really, for where your guys' music and sound comes from?
Yeah, so we're a concept band.
Okay.
That came about probably like 10 years in.
Okay.
I think we were still finding our sound and trying to figure out. We've always been kind of had themes to each one of our albums.
Okay,
You know-
and how many albums are you guys on now?
5th.
5th. Okay,
So
and
we're
can you name them all?
We have 5 that are released. One that we're going to start releasing slowly, and then we're working on a new song. We're always writing. It's just a matter of...
Yeah, and you've done them
when
every 2 years, right?
Yes, every 2 years we try to release an album, just kind of...
Something.
Something,
At least something with
Well, the
4
fans
tracks
demand it, right? I
Yeah.
mean, you guys have a huge following.
Thank you.
Twitter also is one of the best ways to connect with you guys,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, that's where we're most responsive, but we are trying to get on that Instagram game.
Yeah,
for sure.
so you guys
Apparently
gotta help
that's a
their
thing.
numbers.
Yeah, please.
Apparently that's a thing now.
So the concept of illimperial is a very simple one if you think about it kind of, in zoomed out perspective. You have the Nevermind Rebels, which represent the common man.
Okay.
The working guy that's just trying to feed his family.
And that's like the 99%.
The 99%,
Okay.
exactly, yeah, very good analogy. And then we have the 1%, the king, and he has all the power, right? He's oppressive, he is greedy, he's all the negative
That's
things
me.
that you perceive with people of giant wealth and power that get abused.
I'm terrible.
Right. He is awful. And so between those, to be realistic, to put that concept, because it's never black and white, right?
Yeah,
you
of
kind
course.
of you kind of have to have something in the middle, and what's in the middle between us is chaos.
And so that's
Light.
kind of like the gray area.
Yes, that's
Okay.
our drummer.
That's Joe.
So in our shows, when you see us play, I'm usually to one side, he's to the other side, and in between there's a drummer beating the drums of war, kind of inciting the whole show. So
You never know what he's gonna do.
you never know what he's going to do. He's the real wild card. So that's kind of the idea in a nutshell, is that the 99% versus the 1% with chaos in between. I feel like that represents humanity, or at least the political history of humanity forever.
Yeah, and so I was going to say, based off of that, do you see that, being a concept band, sometimes that can go out of style because it's really based off of just a trend. Do you feel like that would ever happen to you guys in the sense of that your kind of whole spiel is actually based off of life and just kind of the movement of people and position of power in general? So how do you feel like your guys' concept will progress as time progresses?
I think I would love for us to go out of style because that means there would be no oppressed or the oppressors.
Yeah.
The world would be a better place.
The world would be a better
if we
place
went
if
out
we're
of
no
style.
longer relevant, but unfortunately it seems like as time goes on it gets worse and worse. So I
Yeah.
think we become more and more relevant, unfortunately.
Okay.
Or maybe we'd start writing about peace and love. What a wonderful
I don't see
place
that
the
happening.
world is now.
I don't see that happening.
Not anytime soon. Not in our lifetimes, probably, unfortunately. We can all work at it. and I'll work at it.
Well, and you guys, like you said, you're putting in work. You're coming out with a ton of new songs. You guys have a new music video coming out. You guys already have, though, a couple releases, especially Blood Moon. You guys need to really check that out. It's an awesome single. Yeah, and
music video soon. Yeah.
My favorite, and I don't know if this is just because I know some insight, but my favorite song is Imperial Recruit.
Yes.
Yes.
So that is actually going to be released. You've heard a sneak peek because she's cool like that.
First on Fame by the
Yeah, exactly. So that's going to be released probably after Blood Moon. So look for that sometime in the fall. We will do a song release along with a music video along with it.
Cool.
That's what we're trying to do now, is to release a song with a music video and kind of focus more on singles, because that seems to be the trend, the way fans are consuming our music. And we make music for our fans, so it would be foolish for us not to listen how they want. You know, they want a song from us every couple months, and they also want to see a music video and some shows. That's what we're going to work on as a band going forward to fulfill what you guys want.
Yeah. Now, we've talked a lot about you guys collectively. I do want to dive a little bit into each of you as artists respectively, because I know that you have been doing music forever, and you're an incredible MC. So I kind of want to start with you, Dennis, and talk about just maybe a little bit of your background and what inspired you to get started with music and then to continue to pursue it all these years later.
Right. That's a really good question. I think I got bit by music when I was 16, and I remember telling my parents that I feel like this calling for music, and it was weird because I have not done no music up until that point. I feel like I just felt it in the air. So they were surprised as well, but they trusted me, so I started with guitar lessons, and I did a little bit of piano lessons, and continued all that through high school. But what really set it off was I found this beat making program called FL Studio, and it's very popular nowadays, but back in the day I was one of the original ones. I got a little demo, and basically I ended up starting to make beats, and I felt like that was really when I shined, because I could make any type of music I wanted from within. Guitar is limiting in a way, unless you're a virtuoso, so is a piano, but having a production software that allowed me to use any sound, I can create a full entire song. And that's when I really blossomed and fell in love with music, and I've just been doing it ever since.
Do you think that, because I know that you are originally from Russia, do you think that maybe from being out of this, from outside the United States, kind of also music maybe helped you to transcend those differences? Is that, music's the one thing I feel like that can connect everybody, no matter what level you're on?
It's a universal language. Absolutely. I think that definitely cannot be discredited, and I think that in music, but particularly in lyrics, it shines, because the way my mind works, since I grew up with Russian first as a language, it's almost like an operating system, and you learn how to string sentences and be understood in a certain way, and then when you learn another language, you kind of have to restructure that. Well, the Russian has kind of stayed there, and, so I feel like it shines in the way I come up with lyrics, because I put accents on things that Americans wouldn't intuitively think, but it makes it interesting. It makes you question what words really mean, and if you put the same words in a different order, they gain entirely new meaning. Yeah. And I think I am lucky that I had this background that allows me to kind of have that niche.
Yeah, well, I mean, you are a lyricist, wordsmith, genius, voice of a generation, I've heard, so. And so, you do all the lyrics, you do all the beats, and then now we go over to Eric / MC Broad, who does all of the freestyling and really just, I think, puts the hip-hop twist to what you guys kind of do, which is funny because it's like, looking at you would not expect that you spit fire. Like, really, you guys.
I look in the mirror and I'm like,
yeah, he's as surprised as everyone else. Yeah,
so do you want to talk a little bit about, like, how that comes from within? I mean, I've heard you perform live. I've also watched all your Broad on Brews, which, by the way, if you're a beer lover and you love rap and hip-hop, you should tune into their YouTube, where you can watch Broad, what is it, you get drunk, have fun, and do a rap?
I'll rap about the beer. I'll rap about other random things after drinking a beer, whatever you want to hear. I mean, you can tell me what to rap about. I don't know, sure.
Well, so let's talk a little bit about where that comes from. I mean, where do you kind of get that stage presence to go out there and just kill it?
Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes I don't know. Sometimes it's from, I don't know, maybe the beer I'm drinking. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'm wholly sober and it's just what I'm feeling about everyday life and different emotions and different thoughts and experiences I've had all day. And sometimes it's, you know what, I grew up writing poetry. Like,
Oh, okay.
I got really into poetry when I was in like 2nd, 3rd grade.
Oh,
I was
wow.
obsessed with Edgar Allan Poe, with some really dark stuff.
Mhm.
Then I got into some other poets at some point. I was reciting Edgar Allan Poe poems when I was in 3rd, 4th grade for fun. Like, not even for class, you know, just
What
like...
kind of kid does that?
Yeah.
I was a weird kid, people. I was weird. And I grew into a weird adult who likes to rap. But, like, seriously, I started getting really into poetry. I was writing poetry way before I was writing rap, before I even heard rap. All of a sudden, somebody plays me Biggie, Tupac, and I'm kind of like, this is poetry. People are calling it rap, hip-hop, whatever you want to call it. This is poetry. These guys are modern-day poets. And I wanted to be a modern-day poet. I was like, maybe I can do this. Maybe I can't write prose like Edgar Allan Poe did. I don't know these archaic terms he's using and all that, and I'm not going to use them in modern day because people aren't going to understand them. But I can speak my own voice and see if people like that, and maybe they will sometimes, and maybe they won't sometimes. I don't care. Sometimes I'm just writing for me. Sometimes I'm not writing for him. I'm not writing for you. I'm not writing for anybody else. I'm just writing because I enjoy writing.
Yeah.
Because I've always wanted to be a writer.
Yep.
And poetry was just one kind of outlet for me. And it turned into an outlet where at some point he provided me beats and something that made me
I kind of saw that. I
want
feel
to
like
write.
I just saw that. I was like, this guy's just writing, turning out lyrics. Like, I gotta do something about this.
That's actually
I'm
pretty
making
much
beats.
what
He's
happened.
leaving lyrics. Let's put
Nobody
this
was
in.
making me beats. People, I'd be rapping at parties in high school. At some point, I don't know, probably junior year. I started rapping at parties in high school. Started drinking a little beer, maybe, you know, smoking a little weed, and all of a sudden you're rapping at a party. And then this guy was watching. Other people are watching. They're like, "Oh, it's cool. It's cool. It's a cool novelty." This guy was like, "There's something there."
Yeah.
If you give this guy the right beat or the right kind of vibe, maybe we got some real poetry here.
Yeah.
And bam, it started to happen. I think it was sophomore year, probably about sophomore year of college.
So long ago, it
He
all
moved,
together.
he moved down the street from me.
Yeah. I think the
And-
proximity helped.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
proximity,
right?
the proximity
You guys
definitely
didn't need the
helped.
parties anymore. You
'Cause
could
I
just
was
go, like,
lazy.
next door.
Well, we still needed the parties. We definitely still needed the parties.
The parties helped.
Yeah,
But
parties
yeah,
helped.
you know, he started, all of a sudden he had a beat for me. What was the first song? Was it Zombie Tundra? No, it was Shoe Shine.
Shoe shine.
Shoe Shine.
Yeah.
Yeah, he gave me a beat. I wrote a little poem, I guess you'd call it.
Mhm.
I kind of rapped it because that's a lot of
Yeah.
the stuff I was listening to at the time. And that just naturally kind of became the way that I wrote.
Yeah.
And I don't know, it just kind of happened. Like it was...
Well, it's definitely
meant to
destiny,
be.
I think. Yeah, destiny that you guys two came together and you guys both kind of had the other element that the other one needed in order to succeed to now become illImperial, which you guys are now. Which I think is crazy that you guys have been together for so long.
I know, right? It's insane.
I mean, we
It's
both get
insane.
busy in our everyday lives,
Yeah.
and we don't always have as much time to do this as we'd like. I wish we could put like 100% into it all the time.
But
we're
we're
really
revving
trying
up.
to get after
Yeah.
it right now.
We're
Well,
revving
and
up.
that was
You
going to be
pay
my
attention.
next question. Where do you guys see yourself? And I'm not even going to say 5 years. Where do you guys see yourself in the next year?
Next year. So we would like to have a couple of really cool music videos.
Okay.
I think one of the benefits of being self-contained, like it's him and I and our drummer.
Mm-hmm.
The lyrics, the songs, the music, the artwork, everything, you know? So
Yeah.
the benefit of that is that you kind of learn to be a jack of all trades. But
Mhm.
then once you have those skills, you don't really need anyone else. So like, for example, videography is another thing that we had to learn in order to be able to do that. Now that we have that skill, we have a lot of music videos that we want to shoot and light up, and it's very doable,
Yeah.
you know? And not only that, but it's creatively still our flair.
Yeah.
So that's where we see ourselves, is really exploring this whole aspect of adding visuals to our songs, because a lot of our songs portray meaning
Yeah.
and a feeling. So then how do you convey that through visual art?
Yeah.
That always helps somebody understand what you're
Yeah, because ultimately we don't want to be convoluted. We want to have people understand our music, and so we don't want any barriers to entry. Like, I feel like a lot of artists make their songs too complex for the sake of being complex. Like, oh, you don't get it, that means it's great art.
Yeah.
No, great art is something that you get right away.
Yeah.
What are the masterpieces that you see hanging up?
Yeah.
It's something that you see it and you go, I feel something, and I know what that feeling
Yeah.
is. That's what we try to distill in our music, and now we're branching into this whole medium of visual.
Yeah, well, and speaking of visual and going back to your guys' shirts, you guys have crazy designs, which I love. And fans can actually get their own shirts, right?
Yes, they can.
And where's the best way to do that?
illimperial.com.
Okay.
Another good thing about being a band for so long is you get all the URL names.
Yeah. Well, and you guys have a lot of other visuals on illimperial.com too. You guys also release is it monthly now, your comic?
Yeah, so
Okay.
we start,
Kind
because
of a little hiatus.
we're actually bringing it back. There was an issue in life with us and our cartoonist, but we're getting that back. We actually did it for 2 years, every month.
Yes.
Brilliant cartoonist.
Brilliant
by the way.
cartoonist.
Brilliant.
Another high school buddy of ours. We're just pulling people we know. And it's kind of crazy how it worked out because he has this amazing skill. And I encourage you guys to come check out these comics because now that we have this concept of the band and we have these characters, we can do musical satire with these characters.
Yes.
And each one of them is kind of a caricature on us.
Yeah.
But there's so much truth to it that our friends or our fans that know us really well, when they see the comics, like, that's totally, that's totally the rebel, but that's Dennis, or that's totally, the king, or that's Broad. So that's another wonderful thing is that we can do whatever the hell we want. So we started doing the comics because we felt like we wanted to. And then we did it for 2 years, and now we're picking it back up.
Well, and I think it's a great representation, too, like you said, because, since you guys are a concept band, you really do have to separate, the people that you are individually as well as the characters that you play. And, of course, the characters that you play have a little bit of the spice from the individuals that you are. But I think that the comic really kind of brings that to light for people who don't have the blessing of knowing you guys. It's like they can kind of know you as well as get to know the characters that each of you play in this concept band through the comics. So I think that's really cool. I love that on your guys'
Thank you.
site. Yeah.
I looking back, and I feel like it's a really cool thing that we've doing.
Really developed it. We even had a graphic novel that we were working on for quite a while. That really it gives you a background to the entire world that we've created. Or
if you were to make a Westworld but with
creating.
our concept, that we literally, because once again, it was just fun. It was for no other reason than we started like diving into, well, who is the rebel, who is the king? And if you were to put
AI.
If you were to put him into a concept, like how would that world look like? And we just got addicted to it, to just writing and like developing backstories.
True.
And we have all
We
this.
would
So
sit there for
we
hours
have all this written
writing
out
this thing.
because he's a meticulous,
I got it on my
meticulous
phone
note
right
taker.
Yeah.
So whenever time comes, we have all that developed because once again, it was fun to do.
Talked a little bit about where you guys see yourself in the next year. I do want to touch on something that I kind of brought up earlier in the interview because for me, it's just, there's a ton of groups out there. There's even fewer concept bands, but then there's even fewer bands that do it how you guys do in terms of stage performance. I mean, you guys, if you have not seen them, I'm telling you, it's really like a play. Like, it's a whole production. I mean, you guys have costumes, you're in character, and more importantly, I mean, you keep your sets so close to how you actually record, which I think is really of high value. Do you want to talk a little bit about, why that's important to you as well as kind of just what fans can expect to see you on stage?
Yeah. I think we just follow a very simple concept that if you can't do it live, don't put it on record.
Okay.
Because I feel like so many bands overpromise what they can do.
Well, like with auto-tune and
Auto-tune,
overproduce.
Overproduce, overpromise. So then I myself as a fan have had disappointments of seeing some people that I look up to and then I see them live and it's just, I get that there's a whole team behind them making them sound the way they are, and to me, I can't help but be disappointed because as someone who prides himself on creative, like juices and just totally being in control of your own sound and your own music, it just, I mean, I'm not saying it's not a formula that works for people, but once again, for us, we just do it very simply. If we can't do it live, we won't put it on the record. That way fans are never disappointed. Yeah. We never disappoint our fans. In fact, the best compliment we get is, it was better than the record.
Awesome.
Right? Isn't that an amazing compliment to get? And that's what we hear all the time. It's great.
Yeah, I mean, I know for sure I have seen people perform who I'm disappointed. I'm like, oh, wow. Like, or people who even just, like, sing over themselves, like their record's playing and then they're singing on top of it, and it's just like...
Yeah, it's like glorified karaoke.
Yeah, exactly. Totally. That's like the best description of it. Well, so, obviously you guys bring this huge energy to the stage, but going, reflecting inwardly, what is the feeling you guys get when you go on stage?
It's addictive. It's amazing. it's amazing.
It's a lot of feelings for me. It's
Yeah.
complex. It's like different. I mean, when I first get out there, I'm probably a little nervous.
Yeah, of course.
But the
Yeah.
second I
Yeah.
start hearing that beat,
Mhm.
I mean, you walk out there and you're like, envision these people naked. That's what I've been told to do, right? And then I'm like, oh God, oh my audience. So then I'm like, okay, don't look at them. But yeah, then I start hearing the beat and I just kind of get in. I just try to focus on the beat
Mhm.
and just get into that. And then I start feeling my emotions going, like, oh yeah, when I heard this beat, I was feeling this, and I was thinking about this X or this or whatever, and I start getting really into it. So I don't know, like I said, it's complex. Like,
It's definitely a mixture of emotions, but people talk about it all the time. There's an energy that happens in performance, and you give it to the audience, and they give it back to you, and you get this like crazy loop of just everyone feeling good.
Yeah.
And that's the addictive part. It's the fact that, once again, the benefit of putting so much emphasis on having meaning and content in your music is that when it's understood, I don't know, it's like this gratifying feeling of getting something across that will help people.
Mhm.
Because the reason why we made the song complete is because it helped
at
us.
least hopefully they're
Yeah.
having fun. Like,
Yeah,
'cause
yeah,
we're
exactly.
having fun
Yeah.
up there.
And it's
but
not to say that
by
we're
at
always
least halfway
serious.
through
Yeah.
the show,
Not to
I'm
say that
having
we're always
fun.
serious.
I am
Yeah.
having fun up
Yeah.
there by halfway through the
Yeah.
show. By the end of the show, I'm like, oh wait, that's it. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm ready.
You're like,
to,
I finally
I'm
got
like
up.
just
I
getting
got
my
out.
stride.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like just starting to really get going here.
And another thing about being in a band for so long is that we have such a body of work that we tailor our performances based on the crowd that we see in front of us. So, we can play 2 sets back to back and they'll be completely different.
Yeah.
Because we have so many songs, and that's the
True.
best part is that we have high energy songs, we have songs that you can smoke to, songs that you can vibe to, it's
Dance
just great
to
to have that versatility.
Yeah, that's awesome.
songs
Well,
you can really focus on the lyrics.
yeah, I was gonna
Yeah,
say because
hopefully.
each one is just it's like its own little package,
Mhm.
that you can open up and just hearing you guys talk about your music, there's definitely a lot underneath the surface that fans are just gonna have to listen into, tune into, and
Scratch.
yeah, and look forward to because you
Yeah.
guys have your new music video coming
Mhm.
out. You have a new release in fall.
Excited.
That's my fave, guys. So you definitely have to check that one out. Well as I'm assuming you guys are gonna have shows coming up
Absolutely,
in the near
yep,
future, so
yep.
people can see you
Yep.
perform. Well, since we want to see you guys perform right now, I was hoping Rod might do a little freestyle if I throw him a beat.
Okay, and if you throw me a little beat, maybe
Okay.
we'll give you a taste.
Okay, I may need help.
Also, it's the little heat signature is coming up, so it might overheat. It just popped up though.
Shit.
Normally, in my experience, I can get 10 minutes out of it before it.
Yeah, it's like
Okay.
5
Down.
minutes.
Let's
Let's
go.
Like
let's
the
do
yellow
it.
Go.
light on
I
your
can
car.
go fast.
Okay.
Yeah. Here we go. It's the bride with the flow. Doesn't matter if the sound's kinda low, I'ma still hit it, get it, I admit it. I'm the one that when you give me your mic, have fun, do this thing, rolling with it like they just some silly puns that I'm coming up with from the tip of the tongue. Phenomenon, I'm never done, son, you know that I run from the tongue, that's right, from the mouth. It's the way that I do it, people know that I'ma come like I'm the truant delinquent, I'm stinking like a skunk, yeah. I'm a punk, just like Brewster, killing the rooster. I got the truth, sir, ready for you. I serve it up like this was a plate. It's a silver one. What you want from me? I'ma do it just like honey. I'm a sugary man. I'ma do it like them people get them boogers see out of their noses when I be dropping these flows. Is because I compose this right now. This prose is, it's the poet. That's right. I'ma show it. Those terms you ain't heard yet. Yeah, you know it.
Boom.
Can't blow it.
Boom. And that was a freestyle.
I was about to say, yeah, and you did show it. I mean, that was freaking awesome, and
That's a taste. That's a
that was the taste, you guys. That's more the scratching at the surface.
Yeah,
you
yeah,
gotta
right?
check out the
Absolutely.
website.
Yeah,
for more.
yes.
Please do.
Listen
Yes.
to Bride on Brews.
Yes, definitely, you guys tune into them and keep updated with everything new they have going on. Never disappoint. So, well, I just want to say thank you so much, illImperial,
Yes.
for being on Fame by
Thanks
the
for having
Flame.
us.
Yeah,
Pleasure.
I really appreciate you guys. And shout out one time to Jay at Omina Labs. You're awesome, Jay.
Yeah, you're
Thank
awesome.
you, Jay.
My man, Jay.
Until next time, fans, I'm Noelle at Noelle's Notions, and this is Fame by the Flame with illImperial.
Peace.
Peace, y'all.